Hello and welcome to episode 5 of my challenged book summaries. In this episode, I'll be talking about Go Ask Alice, Looking for Alaska, and Mockingjay, the third book in the series of The Hunger Games. Go Ask Alice is a book that I first read in high school back in the 1970s, and it was an instrumental book for me and very important. A number of my friends had gotten into drugs, a variety of different ones, but I had read Go Ask Alice, a story about a young girl who goes to a party, ends up trying drugs out, not intentionally, and then things spiral from there in terms of the experience, the friends she makes. She ends up getting into a number of different drugs. She has a very supportive family. She starts keeping a journal, which is the basis of the story and her experiences. So that's how we learn about her journey. It does say on the back cover, so this isn't a spoiler, that her character does not survive. The story only takes place over the period of a year. She gets into some very difficult situations, ends up leaving home by her choice, gets into some even worse situations and experiences for what she'll do to get drugs. She ends up moving back home. She promises to not get into drugs again. It's a promise she makes to herself, fully intends to follow through with that promise. Unfortunately, she stops journaling at a certain point, and not long after, she is found dead. We don't know if it's from an overdose, intentional, because we don't have the journal entries. It is not an easy read as a teenager or as an adult, but it is an important read. For me, it was influential in not getting involved with drugs. Unfortunately, here in Canada, this book was taken off shelves in British Columbia, in school libraries, and although there was a protest by students and staff and others, for some reason, that school board decided they didn't care what people had to say. Again, book is available through public libraries, bookstores, etc., so people do have access to it. It's still available, certainly here in Ontario. I am very happy about that because I do believe it is an important read, especially for youth. And as someone who spent part of their career working with drug addicts and alcoholics, what I can say about the book is, although that timeline of a year isn't typical, unfortunately, some of the events in that book over the span of several years or decades are very accurate. People who make promises to never drink or never do drugs again are sincere in the moment. And it's especially important to make that decision for yourself. Not because someone else is telling you, not because someone else thinks it's what you need to do, but the best chance of success and motivation is for you to realize that these substances are destroying your life, impacting your decision making, your relationships, your work, and there are a number of different programs available to help with that. Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, therapy, going to a counselor. There are so many options out there. And it's why I think Go Ask Alice is a very important read. Teens and adults. I would very much be upset to see this book disappear, and I definitely recommend reading it. The next book, Looking for Alaska, was a book that I read when I was working in high school. It was one of the novel studies in an English class. I enjoyed reading Looking for Alaska. I enjoyed talking with my students about it. I believe, again, it's a very important story, especially for teens to be reading. It covers we follow a character who goes to a different school. He makes a new group of friends. Yes, they do end up using drugs, doing various things. Hello, welcome to the world of being a teenager. And it doesn't mean everyone is going to get into that type of thing. As I mentioned, talking about Go Ask Alice, I did not get into drugs, but a number of my friends in high school were smoking pot, some were doing acid. It's just not something I was into. I'm not judgy, so they did their thing. I read my books. Yes, I was that nerdy girl from a long, long time ago. In Looking for Alaska, so we have this young man, he's made a new group of friends, he's having new experiences, whatever you think about them. The book is divided into two sections, before and after. We meet Alaska, the girl who is in the title of the book. There's different situations that come up. Our main character is almost in awe of her, certainly has a crush on her. Different things happen, and partway through, Alaska dies. The second half of the book, labeled obviously after, is her group of friends trying to decide, was it an accident? Was it intentional? Teens working through that whole thing about suicide. Again, it's a big issue, whether you're a teen or an adult, whether you're thinking about it or you've had a friend that it's happened to. And again, look into reaching out to people if you're having those dark thoughts. It's an important book. It's an important read. There are so many issues that are covered throughout it: relationships, choices, decisions, things that teenagers go through. And if a teen is reading it, it may be the book that makes a difference for them. On this particular topic, yes, I do have some life experience from both sides of the situation. The final book that I want to talk about in this video is Mockingjay. It is the third book in the Hunger Games series. I listened to the first two last year as audiobook. Right now the book's downstairs and it's a bit of an achy day, so stairs are my bugaboo. There are a lot of different things to this story, and what I do remember, and again, this goes back to when I was working in school, we had a guest speaker come, and they were a motivational speaker, and they were talking about the Hunger Games. This particular speaker had an issue with it. They knew it was a popular series, but their issue, and I can't say I completely disagree, is that in this series of books, we have teenagers hunting and killing other teenagers. It isn't a sport, it's a tournament to try and win supplies for their community. They're observed, it's a televised program, they're observed by a group of people who are not living in poverty. It's basically their twisted entertainment. For them, it's just a big show. There are 12 districts, and two teenagers come from each district to this competition. The one to survive wins something for their district. It's a very different world. The 12 districts all have one thing in particular they do, a type of supply that they provide to the hoity-toities living elsewhere. As the story progresses, our main character, Katniss, gets into the games because she takes the place of her younger sister. Katniss is used to hunting. She knows how to survive. She decides to step up and take her sister's place. Peeta is the male selected from District 12, and they both head off to the city. They're treated like royalty. They get special trains. There's training. There's costumes. It's just a whole fanfare thing. Like I say, it's televised, so each of the districts, along with the hoity-toities, watch this. It's a big production. Of course, as things go on, we start to realize there is, in fact, a 13th district. They have kept themselves hidden and out of sight. There are a number of different things we start to see about this society, not just the twisted hoity-toities, but a much bigger, darker secret to what's going on, how this whole set of communities, districts, the hoity-toities, why District 13 has stayed hidden. All of that starts to come to light in Mockingjay. We have the relationship between Katniss and Peeta, as well as a young man that she was attracted to in District 12 and used to go hunting with. There's just so much to this series. But I do agree, it is difficult because you have teens literally hunting and killing each other. That part, I don't know if the author could have come up with a different way to really bring that punch to what was going on and the importance of what happens after a huge calamity that turns the world upside down. We've seen in The Handmaid's Tale how that all unfolded when a disease came through and people are all classed into different groups. In the Divergent series, again, you've got your group of people watching at a distance to see what happens within the different factions. In the Hunger Games, we've got the hoity-toities, but they use them as entertainment. This isn't about, like Divergent, when they're looking to see what happens with choices and evolution type things. Each of the series that I've just mentioned all have important messages. And if you read them from the basis of these are all works of fiction, it doesn't mean that's the way society's going. It doesn't mean this is going to happen in the world. They're thought-provoking. They get you thinking. They start discussions. That's what a well-written book is supposed to do. Have those important talks. Have those discussions. Take a look at the choices you make. How do you treat other people? What forms your decisions of right and wrong? That's why the books that I've mentioned in this video are all very important reads. Go Ask Alice. Teenagers, decisions about drugs, the consequences of getting into drugs. Looking for Alaska, relationships, choices, dealing with an untimely passing of a friend, coworker, family member. The Hunger Games, Mockingjay. Society, what happens when everything changes and what are the choices that people make, how that impacts all of society, and how are decisions made about those who have everything and live in comfort and those who spend their lives working so the hoity-toities can have all their comfort and entertainment. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books. Let me know if anything I've said in this video makes sense. Until next time, take good care.